So basically, just thought to jump on here and kind of have a short discussion with you guys about the struggle of making friends in 2025. My God, it's a struggle. And I think, there are a number of reasons why, we're struggling to kind of connect with each other nowadays. I think since COVID, the lockdown, this 6 feet, whatever, has kind of programmed us. I think that's one of the reasons. I think nowadays, people are finding it hard to be vulnerable with one another due to past trauma. You got childhood trauma, pain from past relationships where friends maybe betrayed. Then you've got the pressure from social media to appear to be living it up, living the kind of way. So adult friendships in 2025 are tough, and I know a lot of people are feeling it. And I just thought to jump on here and rant a little bit. Now, obviously, I'm not advocating for those people that have bad character, because some people find it difficult to make friends because they lack self-awareness, anger issues, you talk to people anyhow, you gossip, people confide in you and tell you, okay, this thing is going on in my life, and then before you know it, everybody knows. So obviously there are those kind of people who nobody wants to be friends with. But I mean, for genuine people, there's just this lack of vulnerability in the air, you know almost feels like nobody cares. You tell somebody something, I'm really having a bad day, or this thing is going on in my life right now, and they want to divert the conversation to small talk. They don't really have anything to say. They don't even know how to comfort you, So there is a real struggle nowadays to make friends, especially if you're someone who wants to make meaningful friends, because obviously there are many people who have gone to school with other people and you guys have grown up, but a time comes in life where you want to be intentional about the kind of friends that you have. You want to choose your own friends, which of course is allowed, but then finding those people or connecting with those people is tough. And I also think that nowadays there's a lot of talk about value, you have to appear a kind of way. So people are under pressure. You almost feel like nobody's gonna love you for who you really are. You feel like you have to be a kind of way, you have to appear a kind of way before people will love you. And I'll say especially for married couple or married people, there's this kind of belief that once you get married, your spouse can kind of supply everything that you need. And that's not true. I mean, of course, in my case, me and my husband, we get on. He's my paddy, he's my guy. He's my king and my everything, my lord, yes. But he's my guy, do you get? But aside that, my husband cannot provide everything that I need. So of course I'm a Christian. God ultimately comes first. God has his place in my life. My husband has his place in my life. And then there's a place that friends occupy also in my life. And so that's how it should be. Many people are of this notion that once they get married, their spouse will be able to provide everything. And you get married and you're disappointed because that's not the truth. There are some female things that, you know, you can only really find solace in discussing that with your female counterpart, whereas your husband may not have that much of an interest in that subject matter. So I've kind of poured out my heart a bit as to what I think, the reason is that many people are struggling with making adult friendships. But it's not all bad news. I mean, there are definitely things we can do to fix it and make the situation better. First of all, I would say that we need to be responsible for our own healing. Now, this topic is dear to me because I feel like this is something that I've also struggled with. I've struggled with making connections with people based on things that have happened in the past. And ultimately, until you deal with those issues, and make it your responsibility to, heal and do the work, you're going to continue to struggle, because every time you meet somebody, trust issues will arise or bad character will arise. Something will shall happen that will cause you guys to separate or won't allow that friendship to flourish. So you have to be responsible for the healing. You have to do the work. If it's, maybe taking time in the word, spending time with Jesus, go on a retreat. If you need therapy, you need to explore that, but you need to do the work, or else it's going to continue to affect your relationships going forward. So there's a verse in the Bible, it says that a man that hath friends must show himself friendly. And I think Galatians 6:7 also talks about God is not mocked, that a man will reap what he sows. Now, those two scriptures talk about the importance of basically reaping what you sow. So if you want friendships where you can be vulnerable, where there's real connection, where you can be your authentic self, you're gonna have to be the friend that you want to have. It's really, really important. I mean, you might find that you meet somebody and you decide to, take the step to be vulnerable and open, and they don't reciprocate. It's a risk that you're just going to have to take until you're able to find those connections. Again, I'm not advocating for oversharing. Obviously, even if you're going to be vulnerable and share, you're going to apply wisdom, you're going to apply sense. There's going to be judgment and discernment there, but definitely to attract the kind of friend that you want, you're going to have to be that friend first. And just to kind of emphasize again, there is going to be a level of risk. I mean, until you've given somebody the opportunity to break your trust, you won't know if they will break your trust. So again, there's going to have to be times where you are going to be the one that's going to lead in being open. You are going to be the one that's going to lead in being vulnerable, and you will actually find that, they won't hurt you. They will be a good friend. They will step up and be there for you. I would also say you need to just free yourself from social media pressure. If you're on social media and there's somebody you admire, instead of just liking the post, if you really want to connect with the person, go into their DM, and say, what you posted really, really resonated with me, or what you posted I really connect with, and you will find that they will reveal themselves to also be a human being just like you. Because usually social media adds a level of pressure that's not real. So if you are on social media, use the opportunity to, make real connections, start real talks, connect with those who you really value their content, and don't be, pressured by a lot of the fake things that we see on social media. And lastly, what I would say is do not let the fake vibes of social media get to you. It's just not real life, honestly. And the sooner you realize that, the better. It's not real life. Everyone, to be honest, or most people, let me not say everyone, but most people on social media are wearing a mask. So most people on X or the Gram or whatever social media platform you use, Facebook, are putting their best foot forward. They're not really showing you their messy moments or the times where they're feeling down. So you can't really judge your self-worth or how desirable you are as a friend by what you see on social media. So I'll definitely say, don't pressure yourself and don't look down on yourself, or don't judge, how valuable you may be as a friend by the things that you see on social media. So here's a challenge for you this week. Take the initiative in making real connections with people. It doesn't have to be anything big. I mean, you don't have to be, walk up to people on the street randomly and start talking to them, but maybe send a quick text to somebody, check up on an old friend. I mean, if you know that there's still trauma that you're maybe dealing with, take some time out, see a therapist, go on a retreat, do that inner work, self-love. Just take time out and take a step towards being that friend you want to have, or making real connections with people. And to my sisters who know that, there's character issues and they're the ones that are driving people away from them. I mean, you get angry easily, you gossip a lot, you even self-sabotage. There's this great book that I've read. It's called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. It's such a great book. I recommend that you read it when you get a chance to. It's called The Mountain Is You. Yeah, basically that's it. That's why I think adult friendships are so difficult in 2025. You know, again, many adults walking around with trauma. You've got hurt from past relationships, social media pressure, you know, people wanting to connect for personal gain and not real connection. So those are the main reasons. But again, these can be fixed if we take our time to do the inner work, deal with any character flaws that we have, and if we also take the initiative or take the first steps in actually connecting with people, we'll definitely see change in our relationships and the quality of them going forward. If this video resonated with you, please like, because it will get the video out to more people. You can feel free to share it with a friend that you would like to reconnect with. I mean, if you feel a bit lonely and you want someone to kind of talk to, I will drop my email address, and you should be able to reach out to me by email if you would like to. But that's it from me today. Thank you so much for joining once again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.